This class is about a discussion of the test we conducted on Sunday. Every Sunday at Vedanta IAS we are conducting the test series. So this is about the answers. First question was regarding the Act of 1909 with reference to the Government of India Act 1909. Which of the following statements is or are correct? So we have the four statements. We have three statements. Sorry, we have three statements. We have to check which statement is correct, which is incorrect. So first statement is it introduced the provision of separate electorate for Muslims. Correct or incorrect? Correct. So this is correct. First statement is correct. Now come to second statement. Second is it provided for the Association of Indians with the Executive Council of the Viceroy and the Governors. Correct, incorrect? We talked about at the center, we have Governors General, also called as Viceroy. Advisory body of Viceroy was Executive Council. In this Executive Council, for the first time, we have nomination of one Indians only. Who was that Indian? Sir, S.P. Sinha. S.P. Sinha was the first Indian who was nominated to Viceroy Executive Council. It means second is also correct. And same provision was at province level as well. In province of Bengal, everywhere, in some of the provinces we have appointment or nomination of Indians in councils of governor. So second is also correct. What about the third? It introduced direct elections for the first time in India. Because we talked about earlier we talked about before 1909 Act. Before 1909 Act, we have 1892 Act. By 1892 Act, system was recommendation system, also known as indirect selection system. But for some of the seats in 1909, election started only for some of the seats. So the real beginning of direct election was by 1919 Act. But 1909 Act, only for some of the seats we have provision of direct elections. So this is also correct. So answer will be D. 1, 2 and 3 all. Clear? Before 1909, under 1892 Indian Councils Act, there was no any system of direct elections in India. Real beginning of most of the seats directly elected was under 1919 Act. But before that 1909 Act, for some of the seats, we have this system. For example, 8 seats for Muslims under direct election at central level. We talked about all the things. So first, question number first, answer will be D. 1, 2 and 3. Clear? Now come to Now come to question number 2. Question number 2 is the system of communal representation in India was first introduced by which of the following acts? 1909 Act. Because this act provided for reservation for Muslims of India. And this reservation was communal representation because system was separate electorate system. Separate electorate system for Muslims of India. And only richer Muslims, not all the Muslims. Richer Muslims, educated Muslims, and not the all Muslims. So Question number 2 is very, very simple. Answer shall be Act of 1909, that is the C. Clear? Now come to third. Which of the following was a feature of the Indian Councils Act of 1909? First is provincial autonomy. Incorrect. Because this concept came in 1935 Act. Diarchy was abolished. In place of diarchy, autonomy was started at provincial level by Act of 1935. So first is incorrect. Now come to second. Diarchy in the province. This is 1909. Diarchy started at province level by 1919 Act. So second also incorrect. Third is separate electorate for Muslims. So this is correct. ठीक है. What about the fourth? When it started? Bicameral legislature at center. When it started? 1935 Act. By 1919 Act, this bicameral at center, bicameral legislature at center, sorry, bicameral legislature at center by 1919 Act, sorry, 1919. ठीक है, 1919 Act. Because I was believing that this is regarding diarchy at center. So diarchy at center by 1935 Act. Clear है? So answer shall be your C. So this is, now come to question number 4. Question number 4 is regarding Morley Minto reforms. Morley Minto reforms, that is 1909 Act. So Morley Minto reforms, Morley Minto reforms, what the basis of Morley Minto Act? Morley Minto Act 1909. This Morley Minto Act 1909, it was for which of the following 4 choices? Strengthen British administration in India. Introduced federalism in India is incorrect. It introduced federalism in India. That was by 1935 Act provision was that. So this is ruled out. Appeal to the moderate nationalists and Muslims. Regarding what? Appeal to the moderate and Muslims. 1909 Act was for reservation to Muslims. Under reservation, under provision of reservation, separate electorate provision. So this was for Muslims, appeal to Muslims. And this is transfer complete self-government to India. This is incorrect. Cannot be. So answer should be C. This was for Muslims. Under separate electorate provision, we talked about. Every question we discussed in the class. Now come to question number 5. Who among the following was the first Indian to be appointed to the Viceroy Executive Council under, we just talked about, S.P. Sinha. S.P. Sinha. Sir, S.P. Sinha from Chhattisgarh. S.P. Sinha was from Chhattisgarh and he was the first Indian who was nominated to Viceroy Executive Council by Act of 1909. So answer will be S.P. Sinha. Now come to question number 6. Question number 6 is regarding consider the following statements about Indian Councils Act 1909. So most of the questions regarding acts 1909, 1935, 1919 Act. Clear? So you have to consider the statements about Indian Councils Act 1909 or Indian Government of India Act 1909. First is it increased the number of members in both central and provincial legislative council. Of course, yes. So first is correct. It increased the number of Indians, the number of members in both central and provincial legislative councils. Number was increased, center, province both. What was the number at center? What was the strength of the house at center? How many members? By 1909 Act. Everything we talked about. 60. So this is correct. Now it gave legislative councils the power to discuss the budget and ask supplementary questions. ठीक से चेक करो, आंसर्स पढ़ाया है मैंने. They can discuss the budget by which act? 1892 Act. First time the House was given the power to discuss the budget by which act of India? 1892 Act. Now they can move supplementary as well. So this is also correct. Next, it granted Indian control over executive branch of the government. Never. So answer will be only 1 and 2. 1 and 2 only. Clear? Now come to question number 7. Question number 7. The term Morley-Minto reforms refers to reforms introduced by the Secretary of the State, Lord Morley, and Viceroy Lord Minto. Of course, yes. So this is correct. Reforms introduced by British Parliament under Lord Curzon. This is incorrect. So only one is correct. So first is correct. एक ही होगा इसमें. ठीक है? So the answer shall be only A. Now come to question number 8. Which of the following statements correctly describes the significance of the Indian Councils Act of 1909? It laid the foundation of responsible government in India. Yes or no? It cannot be. It recognized separate communal representation to Muslim. If this is correct, how can this will be correct? So all are incorrect. Only one is correct, that is B. Only B is correct. Clear है? बहुत easy question था ये तो. It was very easy. It was not even moderate question. Next is the Home Rule movement was launched in India during which year? Home Rule movement we talked about 1916. We talked about Home Rule movement of Annie Besant and Tilak, and both the movement was in 1916. Tilak, April 1916, Annie Besant, September 1916. So the answer shall be 1916. Very easy. Easiest question. Question number 10. Question number 10 now. Who among the following was not associated with the Home Rule movement? Bal Gangadhar Tilak? Yes. Tilak movement. It was in Bombay. Tilak movement was in Bombay. Annie Besant movement was in all India except Bombay, and in South India, Subramaniam Iyer. Clear? So answer shall be Chittaranjan Das or C.R. Das of Bengal. Next is your question 11. Next is question number 11. With reference to the Home Rule movement, consider the following statements. You have the 3 statements and you have to consider all the 3 statements in the light of Home Rule movement. First statement is the movement was launched in 1916 by Annie Besant and Tilak. Both is. So this is correct. So first statement is correct. What about second? Tilak's League was based in Maharashtra, excluding Bombay city. Of course, is correct. Bombay is Maharashtra, present Maharashtra. And third is any Besant League operated in Madras and rest part of India. Of course, is. So except Bombay, any Besant movement was in all India. So answer shall be 1, 2 and 3 D. Very easy question. Again easy question. Next is question number 12. Question number 12. The Home Rule movement was aimed at. What was the objective of the Home Rule movement? This was your question. What was the objective of Home Rule movement? Why this movement was started? Obtaining complete independence from British rule. Correct, incorrect? Incorrect. This movement was not for independence. It was for Swaraj, concept of dominion, status to India. So first is incorrect. Second, attaining self-government within British Empire, that is Swaraj. So this should be incorrect. This should be incorrect. Clear? So answer should be your B. Attainment of self-rule of Indians within English rule is concept of dominion status or Swaraj. Swaraj concept. We talked about everything in the class. Next is our question number 13. Any Besant was associated with which of the following movements? Any Besant? Home Rule movement. Home Rule movement. Any Besant? Have to choose only one. Out of 4, you have to choose only one. And if more than one is correct, you have to choose better one. So Home Rule movement was the brainchild of any Besant. Next. Question number 14. Question number 14 is, sorry. No. The Home Rule League was suppressed by the British government because why Home Rule movement was suppressed by British government? It advocated armed revolution. It demanded complete independence. It agitated for self-government within the British Empire. That was the only objective. This was not the aim. This was not the aim. It incited communal violence, not. So answer should be C. Even this demand was not accepted by the government. So why British government had suppressed Home Rule movement? That was the question. Clear? Now next question is question number 15. Question number 15. Which of the following pairs is or are correctly matched? Match करना है इसको. First is Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Home Rule League in Pune and Bombay. Yes. Any Besant, Home Rule movement in Madras. Yes. C.R. Das, Home Rule movement in Bengal. In Bengal, C.R. Das was not associated with Home Rule movement, but his ideas was source of inspiration for Home Rule movement in Bengal. So this is also is correct. So answer is D. Though C.R. Das was not directly associated with Home Rule movement, but his ideas were the cause of Home Rule League in Bombay. So C also is thoda sa it was tricky question. Thoda tricky. Little bit tricky. So answer shall be D. 1, 2 and 3. Now question number 16. Which of the following statements regarding the Home Rule movement is correct? So you have the four options regarding Home Rule movement. First was, it was started after Jallianwala Bagh massacre. Cannot be, because this happened in 1919. This was started this movement was in 1916 and this Jallianwala in 1919. So first option is incorrect. No question. Second, it was inspired by the Irish Home Rule movement. That is the source of inspiration. Innovation was from Ireland, and Irish people had started same movement for Swaraj to Ireland from Britain. So this movement was inspired by this Irish Home Rule movement. So this is correct. So this is incorrect. This is incorrect. So answer should be your B. Very simple. Next. So you have to read all the four options. Don't jump into answer. You make the answer only after going through all the four options. Now question number 17. 17 was the Home Rule Leagues united and strengthened the nationalist movement in India by demanding dominion status. And this was merging with the Indian National Congress. Not because this movement was not the part of Congress. It never merged with Congress party. So second is incorrect. Spreading political education and awakening among the masses. This is also correct, but the first is more correct. First is more correct. This also is correct, but more correct is the first. So first is answer. Clear? Now question number 18. Home Rule movement declined after arrest of Tilak and Besant. Lucknow Pact. Montagu Declaration of 1917 is our answer. Reason is Montagu was SOS for India. And this Montagu in August 1917 announced something for India, and this was indirectly grant of Swaraj to India. So this Home Rule movement declined after Montagu Declaration of 1917. Lucknow Pact cannot be because it was in 1916. Any Besant were never arrested. So first is incorrect, second incorrect, third also incorrect. The only answer is C. Clear? Now come to question number 19. This question number 19 is regarding Gandhi-Irwin Pact of 1931. Gandhi-Irwin Pact of 1931 included which of the following? This was regarding provisions of Gandhi. Everything we discussed in the class. So first is regarding immediate release of all political prisoners not convicted of violence. That is correct. Only those prisoners convicted of violence not to be released. So first is correct. Second, right to make the salt for consumption of the villagers. Of course, is for consumption and not for the sale. And third is recognition of Indian National Congress as a legal political body. Congress party was already political party. So no question of third. So 1 and 2 is correct. So answer should be your 1 and 2A. ठीक है? Congress party was already legal party. So how can Gandhi Pact can recognize Congress party as legal party? Cannot be. Clear? So question 19 is, answer is A, first and 2A. Now come to the civil disobedience movement of Mahatma Gandhi, 1930. This question was different from non-cooperation movement of 1920 because, so this question was regarding difference between NCM and CDM. So first is civil disobedience movement asked for complete independence. Of course, is this is correct. This is correct. Civil disobedience movement involved violation of the law. Also correct. Also correct. But which is more correct? No, which is more correct? नाम ही है इसका सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट, मतलब लॉ को डिफाई करेंगे हम. दिस वाज फॉर पूर्ण स्वराज because 1929 onwards Congress demand was पूर्ण स्वराज. But how to attain the Purna Swaraj? Through defiance of the law. So this is your correct answer. And not the first one. Not. अगर दो आंसर में दोनों ठीक है, ज्यादा ठीक कौन है उसको करना है पिक. एंड थर्ड क्या है? लिमिटेड टू अर्बन एरियाज, कैन नॉट बी. सब जगह था ये तो. एंड थर्ड इज बाइकॉट डिड नॉट इन्वॉल्व बाइकॉट. तो इसमें द आंसर, करेक्ट आंसर इज योर बी. थोड़ा सा ट्रिक, थोड़ा ट्रिक था इस पे. ठीक है, क्लियर? हाउ टू सॉल्व द क्वेश्चन थोड़ा समझ में आ रहा है कैसे करना है सॉल्व. नेक्स्ट 21 क्वेश्चन. The Dandi March undertaken by Mahatma Gandhi was, why Dandi March? To break the salt law, to protest against land revenue policy. Cannot be. Dandi March के बारे में है. This is the correct answer. Very simple. Salt law. This is cannot be. This cannot be. So correct answer is your B. Question number 22. Which of the following was adopted in the Karachi session of Indian National Congress? देखो, after Gandhi-Irwin Pact, Congress special session was held in Karachi in March 1931, and this Karachi Congress is very, very important. President was Vallabhbhai Patel, and this Karachi Congress started demanding some of the things for India, very, very important things. So we have the 4. Resolution of Fundamental Right and Program. This is very, very important. So first is regarding resolution on fundamental rights and economic program. Economic program of Congress Party was 20-point program. Very important. 20-point program of Congress Party. It was adopted by Congress Party in Karachi Congress. Fundamental right also. So first is correct. Second is resolution on complete independence. That was earlier. That was in Lahore, not in Karachi. Of disobedience, not. So only one. Answer will be only one. Okay. Now next is 20. Question number 23. What was the main reason for Mahatma Gandhi to withdraw the non-cooperation movement? Main reason. First is pressure from British government. Second is opposition from within the Congress. And third is Chauri Chaura. That was the immediate cause. Chauri Chaura of February 1922, in which 22 policemen were burnt alive by angry residents at Chauri Chaura. So answer is Chauri Chaura. Very simple. Very, very simple. Question 24. Sorry, 24. The Quit India movement of August 1942 was launched in response to Simon Commission, Cripps Mission, Cabinet Mission. Very simple. Cripps proposal. Cripps Mission. Cripps Mission failed. Cripps Mission had came to India in March 1942. It was failure of the Cripps Mission that Mahatma Gandhi started Quit India movement in August 1942. Very, very simple question. Next is 25th. At which place was civil disobedience movement launched? Movement started by Mahatma Gandhi. Dandi. Dandi March. Dandi. Dandi is in Gujarat. In Dandi, Mahatma Gandhi broke the salt law. And that is the beginning of salt satyagraha or civil disobedience movement. Next is our question number 26. Question 26. The famous slogan, do or die, associated with which movement? Quit India movement. And this slogan was coined by Mahatma Gandhi. This slogan was coined by Mahatma Gandhi during Quit India movement from Bombay. So this question again was very easy question. Next is our question 27. Question 27. What was the immediate cause of the launch of the non-cooperation movement, immediate cause of non-cooperation movement. Jallianwala Bagh massacre, yes. Partition of Bengal cannot be. Rowlatt Act cannot be. Chauri Chaura incident was after, cannot be. The very simple answer is answer number 1. Jallianwala Bagh massacre, 13th April 1919. Jallianwala Bagh massacre. ठीक है. Now question number 28. Which of the following is or are true about the Rowlatt Act of 1919? क्या चीज था इसके बारे में ट्रू है रॉलेट एक्ट के बारे में? फर्स्ट इज it authorized the government to detain the political prisoners without trial for 2 years. Of course, yes. This was excessive power given to police. Police can detain you for 2 years. ठीक है. It curtailed freedom of the press. Freedom of the press. Next, it extended emergency measures from World War I to peacetime. Of course, yes. So 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Oh, 1 and 3, sorry. 1 and 3. 1 and 3, sorry. 1 and 3. When World War I started, government had passed Defense of India Act 1915, under which police was given excessive power. After World War I, this law was withdrawn. So Rowlatt Act reappearance of this Defense of India Act 1915. So answer should be 1 and 3. Question number 29. Question number 29. Question 29. Which of the following leaders was associated with the Khilafat movement? Ali brothers. Very simple, Ali brothers. Maulana Muhammad Ali and Maulana Shaukat Ali, Ali brothers, who had started Khilafat movement to pressurize the government to have lenient treatment to Khalifa of Turkey. Ali brothers. Next is consider the following statements. So Congress Working Committee met at Wardha on July 1942 and resolved to launch Quit India movement. Slogan "Do or Die" was given by Jawaharlal Nehru. It cannot be Mahatma Gandhi. ठीक है. So only one. Only one. ठीक है. Indian National Congress started Quit India movement from Bombay after Wardha Working Committee session.